Good evening and welcome to day 6 of our MENA Summer Sessions webinars. As you can see, yesterday was myself. We were looking at differentiation. Today we've got the wonderful Myriam joining us, looking at engagement and productive skills. Tomorrow we've got Anna Hasper, and on Thursday we've got Hala joining us, looking at writing. So lots of stuff going on this week. If this is the first session that you're joining us, this is being brought to you by the MENA PD Academy by Macmillan Education, which is the Middle East and North Africa's professional development platform and community for English language teachers in the Middle East and North Africa, in MENA. And if you've seen this before, apologies that you're going to see it again, probably for maybe the 6th time now. But let's invite our little friend in to explain the MENA PD Academy to you. As I mentioned, it is our platform. So we have a website, and it's a professional development community to help connect and advance teaching skills across the Middle East and North Africa for English language teachers. We help teachers from all across the region, and we do lots of things, lots of webinars, we've got blogs, we've got little short courses. You can find out all the things that we do, either by joining our social media pages or visiting the website. You can scan that QR code and go and have a dig around on the website. One of the things you will find on the website is our insights report based on the survey that we did last year, where we interviewed about 200 teachers in the Middle East and North Africa, right across the region. And we found out all of the things that teachers want to focus on with their professional development, but lots of other things as well, how you guys are engaging with the Sustainable Development Goals, why you guys love being teachers. We asked that question as well. So go and have a look at the MENA Insights report. You'll find it on the homepage of the website, menapdacademy.com. And yeah, learn a little bit about the other teachers in MENA. And we'll be doing another one probably at the end of this year. So look out for that if you're on those social media pages. You can get involved in this year's report. And then when we come to plan next year's activities, we'll make sure that we're taking all of your ideas into account. So go and check that out on the website. If you do go to the website, you can also subscribe. I send out a monthly newsletter with all of the activities that Macmillan Education has going on for the month ahead. So it's a good way to see what's coming up. So today we're going to be looking at young learners and very young learners, and we're going to be looking at getting them to produce English in an enjoyable way. So we're going to be looking at lots of practical, hands-on, fun, colorful activities this evening. And following Myriam, Mohammed is going to be looking at some practical activities from Doodle Town. So how to use Doodle Town to get students to produce the language. He's got a few activities that he's going to be looking at specifically from that book. And as I just mentioned, it's going to be about Doodle Town, the 2nd edition, which is our high-level pre-primary course. If you want to know a little bit about it, it's got a brand new phonics program. So if you're using Doodle Town 1st edition, you might want to transition to the 2nd edition, because there's an integrated phonics program built into it now. Amira, I can see your question. The newsletter subscription link is on the homepage of the website. So go to menapdacademy.com. And if you scroll down a little bit, there's a little, put your name and email in to subscribe, and then you'll automatically get added to the newsletter. What else has it got? It's got a new assessment pack to help you use formative assessments. It's got Navio still, so gamified learning to get young learners engaged with the language in a fun, gamey way, which they'll obviously enjoy. And there's a whole values education strand and with social and emotional learning built into Doodle Town. So you'll see in every unit, there's lots and lots of reinforcement of values, which is great. And Mohammed is going to tell us a little bit more about those. You'll see some examples later. In fact, I've got a little video, I think. I haven't showed a video on any of the other ones, but I found one for this. There you go. So that video can do in 60 seconds what I can do in, oops, a lot longer. But do go and check out Doodle Town. It's got a really good, strong literacy strand, which is what will help your students to go into primary with a really strong grasp of English, ready to read, numeracy, good, strong numeracy skills, ready to engage with that higher level of English. And if you look at global stage, because they're, as we mentioned yesterday, they're matched together, so they perfectly complement each other. Students will go into year one, not just learning the basics, they will get ready to go with higher level English. So we can get them up to that B1 plus at the end of primary. So if you want really high level of English, these are the two courses that you should look at. Okay, so certificates, as always, will be sent in the next few weeks. Bear with me. I'm going to try tomorrow to get day ones out. So if I've got a little bit of time tomorrow, I'll try and get them out. But they're going to start coming out over the next couple of weeks. As always, with every day, there's a virtual goodie bag for that particular product. So things connected to pre-primary, professional development for very young learners, or anything to do with Doodle Town that I can find and I think is of interest to you, I will attach in there as well to give you some extra things to think about over the summer period. And finally, from me, we've got 2 webinars left, number 7 and number 8. Tomorrow, we're going to be joined by Anna Hasper, who's absolutely fabulous. And she's going to be looking at global skills and how we can use them to engage our teenage learners. And then on Thursday, we're going to be joined by Hala, and she's going to be looking at guided writing. So this is for teens and young adults. And improving their writing skills. So if you're teaching teens and young adults, the next 2 days might be of interest to you. And there's the website. If you want to take a screenshot with your phone or something, you can go and register for both of those sessions on the website. In fact, I can write the website in the chat box as well for people. Here we go. There you go. You can follow that and you can find everything there. There was a couple of questions. What were they? Hang on a second. Where can I find the activities? Yep, go to the website. You'll find them there. Yeah, good. Perfect. Okay, so without any waiting, I'm going to flutter away and I'm going to leave you with Myriam, who's going to be looking at productive skills. Myriam, a very warm welcome to the MENA Summer Sessions this evening.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be here with all of you guys. That I'm seeing that they are from everywhere. So I'm very happy to see so many people here interested in teaching. Very good.
They are a very enthusiastic bunch. I will give you that. So you can look forward to a ton of interactions. I think they're all super eager and super raring to go. So I'm going to stop screen sharing so that you can. Here we go.
Very good.
Don't forget to tick that little box.
Okay. So, hello, how are you? So let me just share my screen if I know how to do it, because you know that. Wait a second. Here it is. Okay, can you see it? Yeah?
Yes, perfect. Okay, Myriam, I'm going to leave you. Good luck. I'm going to be in the background drinking my Moroccan mint tea. Here it is.
Good.
Been inspired by my trip to Morocco. So my wife and I have been making mint every day. So the Moroccans there.
Delicious.
So good luck, and I will see you again. If there's any questions, I will keep an eye on the chat box, and we can address some of them at the end if there are any. But see you all guys soon.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. Let me just again share it with you because I really want to see all your comments, because I am going to be asking lots of questions. So are you ready? Let's see if you say yes. Oh, very good. Perfect. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen and then see everything that you're actually writing. Okay, so the first thing is I want to introduce myself. I am Myriam Monterrubio. I've been a teacher for more than 40 years. I am not going to say it again because I feel very old, but I've been a teacher for more than 40 years and a teacher training for more than 30, okay? And, you know, within all this practice and teaching little kids, I have come up with very nice methodology that gets your children speaking the very first day in the very first second that you teach, okay? So I am very, very glad to see you. Now I have a question. Have someone been to the previous seminar that I gave? It was with Macmillan Education, and it was on Every Child Matters, about how to get your students and know. No, oh, but I'm very happy that you didn't, because today I'm going to be telling you everything that you need to know. Okay, so this is me, and these are all my teachers that I have been teaching from all Latin America. I am from Mexico. I live in Seville, here in Spain, and I've been training teachers from the United States onto the Patagonia in Chile and Argentina, and now here with you guys. So I have a question for you. First of all, I know that all of you are teaching little kids, right? Well, something which is really nice about this topic today is that it's going to be for everybody. Of course, I'm going to be focusing on the very little ones, because those are the ones that will never make questions about what is an auxiliary, or why do you have to forget about the S after making a question using do or does, okay? So this is for every single age, from 3 years old up to 99 or 100, it doesn't matter. So the first question is, where does language acquisition start? Because you know that, recalling Stephen Krashen, he talks about language learning versus language acquisition, right? So where does learning acquisition happen? Okay, from home, exactly. In the family. And where does language learning, a second language, as a foreign language or as a second language? Home and then school, exactly. So this is very important for us to remember, because I think that one of the best language teachers I have ever met is my mother, because she taught me how to speak and how to understand and how to be able to communicate, right? So everything that you're saying is perfect, from home, community, school, and your surroundings, okay? So we know that when we talk about a language, there are 4 different skills that we have to develop throughout our years to communicate, right? And, there are the very known input skills that are the perceptive skills, the receptive skills, right? So when we talk about input skills, what kind of skills are we talking about? Well, some people people call it receptive, some of them, like the ones that you don't do anything and that just everything comes into you, right? So from every single input skill, there is an output skill, right? And these output skills are the productive skills. So that means that when we start listening, then we start, as you were saying, refining the language ability, and then you're going to be able to speak the language, right? But what is the first organ that we use to learn a language? Is it the hand to write or the eyes to read? Nope. It's the listening. So the ears are very important. So listening to everybody speaking to us, it's the first, exactly, ears. So that's the first thing that we need to understand. So every time that we are as an English teacher, you have to remember that listening is very important, and therefore it is very, very important for us to speak the language in a correct, in a very correct way. As for example, in my case, I am not a native speaker, and sometimes I make mistakes, right? Sometimes I even invent new tenses of words, like verbs, like the very past, when you say what did you did instead of what did you do. So we have to take care when we are in front of the class that we can speak in a very fluent and accurate way, right? So from listening, what would be the output skill for listening? Exactly, speaking. So first you listen and then shadowing, very good. You start listening and then speaking. And of course, between the listening and the speaking, there is a silent period where the kid is able to understand everything that he or she's been told, but he's not able to communicate as you know, as he wants, right? Or as we adults want. And of course, what happens here is that everything that the kid does is repeating and repeating and repeating every single word that we say. And if you, as a mother, of course, you're not going to have a lesson plan for that week or for that month. So that means that you speak in a very fluent and, of course, without any remorse that maybe your kid is not going to understand you, right? So you speak in a fluent and, of course, in a very natural way. Okay, so kids, the first thing that they do is they just imitate the sounds. They don't even say words. They just imitate the sounds. And then little by little, the kids will be able to start speaking with just isolated words and then put everything together, okay? And then from speaking and from listening to speaking, what is the other input skill? Sorry, to the rescue. Yes, thank you very much. Reading, thank you very much. Reading, so you're still there. Reading, okay. So reading, how does reading start? Of course, we don't want our students to, or our kids to start reading if they don't even know the words or they don't even know the print, right? So that's why it is very, very important to listening to stories. So every time that we have little kids, telling them stories is very, very important, because that's the very nice way to get your students listening to the language, looking at the pictures and understanding what the story is all about, right? And then from reading, of course, we're going to get the output skill. Exactly, writing. You are so good, very good students, okay? So we have the 4 skills here, and it's a process. It takes time. And of course, when we are in the class with students, we know that we have it's a very short period of time that we are with our kids, right? Maybe 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour. And if you are very lucky, maybe you can have them the whole day speaking in English, right? And then, of course, when we are talking about this, we have to understand that there are things that we are going to implement with our kids, right? If they want to speak, we want them to speak. Of course, first they imitate, then little by little they repeat, and finally the very nice word producing, right? And with writing, it's exactly the same. The kids first, they have to draw, then they have to trace, then they have to copy, and finally they are going to able to produce, right? And of course, everything is in our classroom. So it has to be, the production is going to be controlled, okay? So I know the repetition is very, very important, and I will be very repetitive with this, because what we have to do is we have to get our students speaking. And if they don't repeat the words, then they won't be able to speak them, right? And then finally, one day, they will get to the spontaneous production where the kids are going to produce the words and sentences that will make sense, okay? And of course, we have the 2 places that you said. On the left side, we have the language acquisition, which is at home, and the language learning, which is at school, right? So, of course, there are lots of things that we have to take into consideration. First, motivation. Are your students motivated to speak in a different language when they are 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 15 years old? No. They, if they go to school and they have, yeah, I have English class, or I have a Spanish class, or I have whatever language has, right? And of course, in a real life situation, the kids are very motivated to speak because they have to survive. If they want something, they will have to know how to, ask for it, right? And on the right side of the story, which is the school, we have a limited period of time, and of course we have to teach them what we want them to speak, right? So at home, the listening skills are developing every single day, every single second. And of course, at school, we have to prompt it and we have to elicit, okay? It's not that just tell me what you want, because if sometimes we say, if we show a picture to the kids and say, okay, what is it that, what can you see on the picture? They're not going to say it in English. So you have to tell them how to start, like using the language, right? And at home, you have, in a real life situation, you have no lesson plans, right? So there's no learning preferences, because every time you're going to use your body, you're going to use your eyes, your ears, everything. And at school, of course, we have, the kids, we will have to plan the classes according to our students, styles of learning, right? And of course, at home, they're going to be trying and saying the words, and sometimes they will make mistakes, and it's not, I mean, the family is not going to tell you, no, you're saying the things incorrectly, so that's why we're not going to give you what you want, right? And on the right side, where we have the school, the kids will have little experimentation, and that's why it is very important for our students to be able to speak and produce the language as much as we can. Sometimes they have to, like in a lesson plan, you always have, like the warm up, how you're going to introduce your students to the topic, and then there's, like quiet time. So they open the book and they can color, they can do things that are important at that level, right? At school, at home, everything is a situation. So there are lots of things that you are going to see everywhere. So your mother doesn't have to explain the parts of the house, and the mother is not going to make a lesson plan for a grandmother to say, okay, this week, your grandson is going to learn the parts of the house. So the only thing that he doesn't know, which is because it's very difficult to produce, is the dining room. So please don't take him to the dining room, right? So everything is there. The situation is informal and everything is there. And of course, at school, we have to set situations and we have to give the situation a context so that, the language takes an important place, right? And at home, real communication. At school, limited period of time. Of course, at home is spontaneous language. And of course, here is the language is prompted and elicited, as I said before, because we have to get our students say the words correctly, right? And it's very nice that at home we have lots of teachers. Everybody is a teacher. And at school, there is only one teacher and many students, right? So sometimes it is very difficult to, pay attention to everybody. So that's why the typical thing that we do is the choral repetition followed by individual repetition, so that we can understand, we can actually hear what's happening, right? So everybody uses a book, okay? And every single book in the whole world, when we are teaching a language, has the same topics, of course, because what we want our students to relate is to what's, if we think about a circle, it's like the circle is me, okay? And then what happens, next to me? Of course, my family, my school. And at school, it's going to be the first circle, me and my school, my classroom, my peers, my teacher, right? So in this case, what happens is that every single book that you use will have the first unit, of course, talking about classroom, the classroom, your school, everything, right? So all of these topics are very nice and they are very, very cool. And a long time ago, when I started teaching English, the teachers, when you were teaching little kids, they would say, well, it's very easy to teach the little ones because the only thing that you teach is vocabulary words, isolated vocabulary words. So you have topics, and then the only thing that you do is relate the words to that topic. Of course, it's not like that. If we teach vocabulary words isolatedly, what happens to our kids? The kids won't be able to communicate. They might be able to describe things without any context or without any purpose. It's like, okay, if I tell you, okay, what is it? It's a, and then when am I going to use it, right? So as a teacher, we have to follow this M&M rule, okay? Our classes must be meaningful and memorable, okay? These M&Ms, this M&M, I would say like activity is very, very important because everything that we teach our students must have a meaning for the kids, and it has to be memorable. And memorable meaning that they remember how fun it was when it was presented, how interesting it was when it was presented, or how clumsy it was, or how fun it was, right? So this is something that we are going to talk about, being meaningful and memorable. So every time that we think about these two M's, you will have to think, okay, is my class meaningful? Okay, so am I teaching something that the kids are going to be able to use in a short period of time? Good. Is it memorable? So they will remember what happened when we taught it? Very good. So there are things that we have to think very, very carefully, okay? Every time that we want to plan a class for the very, very young learners and for everybody, but for the very young learners, it's much more important. The first thing is, I must have high expectations from my kids. I know that they can do it. Now that I've been working here in Spain, some of the teachers are really afraid when they have to teach English in English, because sometimes they teach English in Spanish. It's really weird, right? Because it's like they speak in Spanish and they little by little, they, put some of the words in English, right? So because they think the kids cannot do it. And Maria Montessori always said that don't be afraid, your kids, don't do things for your kids if you know that they are eager to do it, right? So in this case, we must have high expectations, meaning that you know that your kids will be able to do it and that it takes time, okay? The second point is be patient, okay? I know that you're very patient because, what just happened right now. So keep on being that patient with your kids, okay? Everybody is going to get there at their own time. It doesn't mean that we cannot say that, oh, no, this kid is not very good with languages, or this kid doesn't like English. Well, if a kid doesn't like English, it's because, and I'm sorry to tell you, the teacher is not a very good teacher. You don't like things that you do not understand. I remember when I was a teenager and everybody, they said, what's your favorite topic? I always said that English was my favorite topic. And that's why I am an English teacher. And I really hated mathematics. But what I wanted to say is not that I hated mathematics. I hated the way that I felt when I was, before the class and didn't understand a word. Okay, and I felt really stupid, right? So this is very, very important, okay? Patient and very good, Sharon. You took it for granted before being a teacher. Excellent. You have to be patient in every single day in your life, right? The third point is we are living in a very visual way, okay? So use posters, realia, flashcards, cutouts. And I know that we are very keen of screens and videos and all of those things. They are very good, but we must have you know, like we have to, you know, get them, you know, like a very nice prize in the class. It's like, today we're watching a video, or today we are doing thing with the screen. It is very, very important that we use these types of material. So it is very important for us to remember that kids, a long time ago when I was starting teaching, they used to say that 90% of the people are visual. Okay, I think that today it's 100% of people, we are visual, right? Real materials, realia, here it is, very good. Realia is very, very important. For the kids, it is very, very important to touch, to see things, real things. So if you're teaching toys, ask them to bring their own toys. So, and then little by little, they can talk about their toys and they can describe their toys, right? So it is very important to have this in mind. And finally, last but not least, is UTPR. I think it's very, very important, okay? So it's the total physical response. It is very memorable, hands-on activities, exactly. And it is very important to, as you were saying, Nathan, yes, controlling a parent's expectation. Yes, it is very, very important, because sometimes parents think that if they are attending the first English class, they will be able to speak perfectly. It takes a long time, right? So yeah, so it is very important for us to remember that we have to get our students moving. We cannot have little kids, the very young learners, sitting all the time for 45 minutes or 30 minutes or even 10 minutes. We have to get them going, okay? So, are you ready? So let's see. The first thing is, the first thing is, these are the rules today. You have to open your mind. You have to ask your inner kid to come out, okay? It's like, don't be teachers today. Today, what I want you to do is to feel students, choose your age. This is really cool. You can choose your age. You can choose from 4 to 5 years to 6 years, okay? Because you're very little, okay? And of course, I wish that you have fun and enjoy, okay? So in this case, when I'm telling you to let your kid out of your inner adults, it is very important to do so at this very moment, okay? So, are you ready? Okay, so we know that everybody knows the colors, right? So, what color is it? I'm sure that all of them are you're going to say red, 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 red. Very good. Okay, now look. Are you ready? Okay, look. Red. I hope that you're doing that. I'm very sorry that I cannot see you here, but I really need you to do exactly what I do, okay? So, okay, red. Show me red. What color is it? Red. Very good, Nathan. Excellent. What color is it? Red. Excellent. Now look. What color is it? Yellow. Yellow. What color is it? Yellow. Very good. I hope that you're doing it at home. What color is it? Now look at me. Green. What color is it? Green. Very good. What color is it? Very good, Nathan. Excellent. What color is it? Yellow. And what color is it? Excellent. Now, what color is it? Look, orange. What color is it? Orange. What color is it? Orange. One more time. Orange. Very good. Now let's see. What color is this? Pink. What color is it? Pink. Very good. Pink. Now, are you ready? What color is it? Very good. Okay, now, what color is this? Blue. What color is it? Blue. What color is it? Blue. Very good. Now look, what color is this? This you have to be standing up. But look, it's color black, as if you were in black. What color is it? Black. Excellent. Now let's see. Very good. Okay. Now, look. What color is it? This is my favorite. Purple. What color is it? Purple. One more time. Purple. I don't know if you in your countries that the purple is very difficult to produce, right? They say purple, they say purple, but no purple. Very good. Okay. What color is it? Brown. Brown. Okay. Now this one. Gray. What color is it? Gray. Very good. Now let's see which one is missing. Oh yeah, this one. What color is, where's my white? Okay, what color is it? White. What color is it? White. Okay, now, why am I doing these crazy movements? It's not sign language. It's something that I invented, okay? Of course, there is sign language for the colors, but in here, what I wanted to do is to have a memorable, not meaningful. It's not meaningful, but it's very memorable when I say like this. Now, what is if I start doing things with for example, look, I'm going to show you, and let's see if you know what this is, okay? Okay, what is this? Exactly. They associate words with actions. Exactly. Thank you. Candles. Oh, look, candles. Birthday cake. Very good. Now look, it's a cake. It's a cake. What is it? It's a cake. Again, it's a cake. Everybody's doing it, I'm sure. It's a cake. Very good. It's a cake. Very good. Now look. What happens here is that we are asking our students to visualize the language, okay? So in this case, if I want you, let's see if you can tell me what I want you to tell me, okay? So, what do you think I said? It's, oh, perfect, excellent. Now, let's see another one. Excellent, it's a blue ball, excellent. So see what is happening here. What's happening here is you're giving them an action to a word, and then it's easier for them to remember. So it's more memorable for them, okay? So I've forgotten the colors, don't worry. I have a very short video on that. If you want, I can just upload it afterwards. So are you ready? So it's like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, purple, black, white, gray, and brown. Why? Because one day I had to give exactly the same topics again. I said, no, it's so boring. So I wanted to, give a little something to my kids. Okay. So little by little, exactly. Kids remember it like this. It's incredible the way that when you are teaching, when you are asking your students, okay, what is it? And they say apple. And then you say, okay, what is it's a red apple. Okay. Little by little, we can give them these things. Yeah. Children are smarter than their parents. Yes, 100%, 1000%. And why yellow is like this? Well, I'm going to, oh yeah, red. Well, you can change the colors. The thing here is that in Mexico, for example, kids used to say, for example, when you're teaching the Y, the letter Y, it's very different than it sounds in English, because you say, for example, Yolanda, Yunque, Yewa. Those are so every time that they see the word yellow, they say jello. So that's why it's like yellow, yellow. But if you want to do it like this, blue, that's perfect. So exactly. The thing here is that as a teacher, invent everything in your class. Everything that you know to get your students, involved. And sometimes when the students say this and say, no, and then why can we do this? And they start inventing their own. And it's really incredible what they can do, okay? So now I'm going to go to the other very crazy stuff, okay? So for those of you who were able to see me before, you know that these are talkies, okay? So this stands for, so tell me, what is it? Let's see if you can remember. Oh, nice. Maybe they say dolphin jumps in the sea, and then little by little, they're going to increase. Very good. Happy, very good. I know she is very happy, but look at could be, look at the arrow and look at my eyes. Look at my, very good, I, okay? I, very good. Again, I. No, it's just I, because I want them to get a little, then I'm going to give them this. I am a girl. I am a girl. It's not, remember that our kids do not know how to read or write. What we're just showing them are just little drawings or symbols that they are able to remember and depict, okay? Very good. So now let's see. Let's pretend that you are, for example, here, okay? We're talking about fruits, okay? So, look. I like apples, okay? I like apples. So tell me, what do you like? I like apples. Okay, now tell me, what do you like? I like bananas. Okay, tell me, what do you like? I like oranges, okay? So here, what happens here is that we are teaching our students to decode these little symbols. Exactly, emoji game, exactly. So what happens here is that they will be able to just remember visually the sentence, I like. Because if I say, okay, what do you like? And then you give them this, they will say orange. And say, okay, oranges, okay? So do you like oranges? And they say, yes, I like. No? I say, no, okay, yes, I do. It doesn't matter. You're not going to tell them when to use do or don't or does. It's just to make them understand the meaning, okay? Exactly. To understand the meaning of the words, not to memorize them. And something which is very important is with this type of exercises, what we want to do is to help students, to help their students' brain to decode different symbols, right? And from those symbols, we're going to go with the letters of the alphabet, so that from just decoding very simple and concrete, going to the abstract part way, they will be able to do it in a long run. And for pronunciation, this is really cool, because they are not going to read, for example, when they start reading and say, oranges. No, it's like, no, it's oranges, right? So this is something which is very important to do. So, okay. So for this matter, something which is very important is to teach them that communication is really nice. So why not having this little speech bubbles, okay, with these little hands, okay, saying that every time that they see, they're going to say, oh, hello, hello, Nathan, hello, Mohammed, hello, Holden, and then the kids will be able to talk to you back, right? Or goodbye, kids, bye-bye, and then you disappear from the class, and then you go back again, you say, hello, goodbye, hello. So as you can see, this is something which is very, very important to get our students all the time to pay attention to see now what's next. What is the teacher going to do? Is the teacher going to sit down and do something fun? Is the teacher going to do something strange? So this is really cool. Okay. So let's go back again and see if I can share everything with a perfect way and not just, okay. Oops, I'm sorry. Something is going wrong again here. Okay. And something what happens now that you're saying that you were studying like that, imagine things. This is something very nice for kids to start working for when they start in long run, when they study, because it's a very nice way to study and to make your cheat sheets and your mind maps. So this is really cool. Okay, so this is an exercise. Okay, so let's pretend we are fruits. Okay, so we're different fruits, and the kids will have to say, you give them a real fruit if you have. Okay, so the kids will have to say, I am a pear. I am a pear. And then in these very nice speech bubbles, you can put everything here. I am a pear. Now look, what is the difference between this? Okay, look. I am a pear and I am an apple. An apple. You're not going to explain that the vowel and before and the an and the a, right? What happens here is that the only thing that you just remind them, I am an orange. I am an orange. Very good. Pear. I am a pear. So in this case, what you want your students to do is, okay, we're going to be sitting in the circle and this is a fruit cocktail, right? So everybody has their own fruits, only one. And then they will have to say, what are you? And they say, I am a pear. What are you? I am an orange. I am whatever. So the teacher is going to play, it's better if they are sitting on a chair, but I didn't know how to draw a chair. So they can be sitting on a chair, okay? And then you say, okay, you have an apple, orange, banana, pear, apple, orange, banana, pear, and like that. So the teacher says, okay, listen, I am an apple. So the apples have to go to the other apple seeds, okay? So they have to switch places. And then you say, okay, I am an orange. And then they have to switch. I am a pear. So as you can see, the teacher is always repeating all the time what you wanted your students to produce, like I am a, I am an, okay? And then immediately the teacher says, fruit cocktail, and then everybody has to run in front and find another chair. This is really nice. The kids are moving, the kids are listening, the kids are repeating, and then they will be able to say very nice things. And then, well, of course, instead of just saying apple, or eat is an apple, eat is a pear, we're giving them a way to produce a sentence that would be, suitable for the practice, okay? That means that the teacher must always provide a context, okay? And I was reading about what would be, what is the context is, of course, everything that you put to your kids so that that language can really take place, okay? It's like to set It's like to set up circumstances or facts that surround a particular event. So in this case, it's like put everything in real. So the kids will be able to understand that the language is cool to be spoken that way, right? Okay, and then from then, we are going to go a little bit further, okay? That little symbol, I invented the symbol. So that's why it's like, why is that R? Just because I invented them and it was 23 years ago when I started doing this in one of my Macmillan books a long time ago. And what we did is we went to many schools and with many students from all Latin America, and my co-author went to Japan, and we came up with the final symbols that we do. Can I use gestures with adults as starters? Yes. And something that you have to tell Monterrubio is that every time that they go into your class, forget about the adults they are, and they have to have fun and to do something differently. Okay. And this is something that sometimes the adults, lack. So yes, of course. And you can use it with them. For example, with my students, I would just go like this, okay? Is, are, okay? So what is it? It's a. What are they? So in this case, when they forget about how to say the verb to be instead of it is, so it's like it's or it is, little by little, you create this connection between the symbols and the words, okay? So can you tell me what is there here? Yeah, exactly. So tell me, what does it say? This is R, okay? Very good. Apples are red, okay? So in this case, you put the things on the blackboard and the kids are able to say, apples are red. And then, of course, you must always have the reference, okay? So apples are red. Very good, excellent. Now, why did I draw, what did I draw a little dot at the end? Because as you can see, this will be the way that I'm going to teach my kids. Exactly, and R needs more than one, exactly. Full stop, very good. So in this case, what I want my students to, I want to introduce my students to reading, okay? Without any words. In this case, I would say, okay, so apples are red. Shh, apples are red. Shh. Now look. What does it say? I like apples. Exactly. So I like apples. And if they don't like apples, they were going to go like this. I don't like apples. Okay. So here you have lots of examples like apples are red. I like apples. I like red apples. See, only with only, the content, with the topic, which is fruits, we can have them just not to say they are apples, I like apples, but little by little, they will be able to say everything that you're saying. Apples are red. I like apples. I like red apples. And then from there, you can say, have you seen apples? Have you seen green apples? Okay, so who likes green apples? And then, have you seen yellow apples? I like yellow apples. So which is your favorite? Yellow apples, green apples, red apples. So as you can see, it's only one topic, the fruits. And if we just devoted our time just to get our students say lots of fruits and different fruits, like what is it? They are, but they're not going to be communicating anything which is really interesting, okay? And of course here, oranges are orange, I like oranges, etc., okay? And then finally, something that we can do is get them, and exactly, you are integrating grammar with vocabulary. Thank you, Ines. And this is something which is very important. When we teach a language, we must, with capital M, integrate grammar with the vocabulary, even if your kids are 3 years old. Your kids will be able to say, it's a car, it's a ball, instead of saying, what is it, car? What is it, ball? No. It's, okay? Very good. So every time that we do it, we can actually teach them a grammar in a very visual way. If you can see here, this, look, we are teaching here, for example, here, we're teaching visually the grammar. I like red apples, meaning that the adjective goes before the noun. But we're not telling them, look, this is a noun and this is an adjective. And then in English, adjectives go before the noun. And this is something that I have heard with preschool kids. The kids don't even know what a noun is. But here they visualize it and they can have fun with it. Okay, so let's go back to when you finish this, let's see what you can do. So now that you have taught the colors, you've taught that you like bananas or whatever fruit. And now you want your students to sing a song. And of course, this is a very profound song, okay, that I wrote a long time ago. So let's see what happens.
Apples, oranges, bananas, pears. Apples, oranges, bananas, pears. Fruit, 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 fruit. I like apples. I like oranges. I like bananas. I like pears. Fruit, 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 fruit. Apples, oranges, bananas, pears. Apples, oranges, bananas, pears. Fruit, 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 fruit. I like apples. I like oranges. I like bananas. I like pears. Fruit, 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 fruit.
Okay, now thank you for your comments. Look, now we have commas here, okay? So when we teach this song, what we could do is we can put things on the board, and then you can have with the commas, instead of saying shh, what we do is fruit, 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 fruit. Shh. Okay. So the kids, let me just see if I can add here. Wait a second. Okay, sorry. So I know that you like it, right? So something that you're going to love is that I am right now uploading the song for you to have. Okay. So let me just get the song for you. Here it is. Okay. So you can download the song so that you can have it, okay? So in this case, it is a very simple song. It's something that your kids are going to love, and you are teaching just fruits, okay? Now then what happens? Then we want our students to start, like saying in a different way. So you can't see the link. It's on the chat box. On the chat box, there is a link. Okay. I hope that you can download it. If you cannot download it, Nathan will help me. Okay. So here, after doing this, and see something which is very important here is it's only one topic, and see how many things we have been doing with only one topic, okay? And we're just teaching apples, oranges, bananas, pears, only 4 vocabulary words, but with many different ways to use them. And then look, what happens at the end? What you're going to do is you can have these little reading strips to get your students saying lots of sentences by, like scrolling this, okay? So I like apples. Shh. And then I like oranges. And little by little, you can start giving them more and more fruits, okay? So as you can see here, then again, you are actually teaching your students to do it, okay? Now, what happens when, imagine that I like broccoli. So they will have to say, I like broccoli. That would be really nice, okay? So I like pears. And then one of the classmates has another one. And then maybe he chose, I like potatoes. I like bananas. And then you can you ask your students, look, now tell me, what does he like? And then he says, he likes pears. He likes pears. Or she likes pears. It's super easy and super fun. And guess what? I am going to share with you the reading strips so that you can have them, okay? The reading strips, you will have to cut them out. I'm sorry, I cannot do that for you. But as you can hear, I mean, you are going to see something like this, okay? So like this. I'm going to share the screen so that you can see what is it that you're going to do with it, okay? You will have to open your file, okay, which is down there, and then you will see something like this, okay? So here, as you can see, this is like the bands on top, and then here you have everything that you can, like use, okay? So this is it. Okay, so and of course now think about, I know that you can be, thinking about lots of things. Instead of having I like, then you take all of these things. The only thing they have to do is you can, have with I don't like hamburgers. Who doesn't like hamburgers? Well, I'm not very fan of hamburgers. Okay, and then maybe you can actually do it with, look, animals. Okay, so I like lions. I like tigers. I like giraffes. Now, something which is very important is, I know as a teacher, you have to do lots of material, lots and lots of them. Use parents for this. So send them the copy or upload the copy and ask them to print it, to cut it out, and then you can just use it in your class. Or something which is really nice is that ask your students to draw, so they can actually draw it. So if you plastify this with an erasable marker, they can draw, and they are actually writing, okay? So they would say, I like apples. Never forget the sh, okay? So little by little, they can do it on their own. And you can have lots of things like, for example, on the farm, we see, and then the animals that we see, or at the zoo, we see. So see, as you can see, there are lots of things that kids are able to do. It's just something that we have to give them. It's something that we have to share with them. We have to share the love of teaching, and this is something that it's really important to highlight this, because I think that as all of us are really, you will have to struggle, okay? I will have to go back to all of this because I don't know what I did, but anyway, okay. So in this case, we have to remember this. Our preschoolers are full of curiosity and wonder, and teaching them can be a joyous experience as you watch their eyes light up with each new discovery. This happens when you're teaching kids. They just look at you and they're like, oh. So it's like having a wonderful time when you teach students. So teachers who love teaching, teach children to love learning. And this is something that we cannot forget. Never, never. If you love teaching, your kids will love to love learning. And of course, it takes time. And it is very important to remember that, yes, you're a teacher from 8 to 2, or I don't know, your schedules, but the kid is very eager to keep on learning and to keep on, like loving how to learn. Okay. So I am very sorry because everything that we had on the screen and everything, but I'm sure that I gave you something. If you are still working with your kids and you do not know what to do with them, do these things in a very nice way. And something that I forgot to mention is that every time that you use a book, use pre-book activities. And these are very good for pre-book activities, okay? Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your patience, everybody. Amazing, Myriam. There's so many things in there. I love the end where you end with this idea that I guess at the heart of engagement is this creating this memorable and enjoyable experience for the students themselves. I mean, the activities, I mean, it's almost like you've created this bridge between things that lots of people already do, things like TPR, using images, the symbolic aspect of learning for very young learners. And you kind of have used all of those things and then use that as a kind of bridge into kind of pre-reading. So you're exposing them to effectively reading structures and the grammar, but without making it explicit. It's not like we're going to be practicing full stops every day now, guys. You're going to do 100 sentences and put full stops on the end of them all.
Yeah, no, please don't.
Don't do that. But we're exposing them to that, but they're seeing it they're using actions and sounds and symbols to absorb that, to make sense of that. And I was thinking, because if you think about it, when you learn something, so if you learn a word, when you commit that word to long-term memory, it gets stored in a place in your brain, right? But when you see a picture, you actually store it in 2 different parts of your brain, because you've got you've got the visual part, which gets stored, let's say here, and you get the verbal part, which gets stored here. And that makes recall easier, because you've got 2 different parts of the brain to be able to recall the language from. So this is why this kind of technique, I think, really helps young learners. It's not just fun, it's a scientific approach to memorization, learning, and all of these types of things. So
it's brain tailored, because it goes with the brain. I mean, the brain learns that way. So if you're moving it, you're giving them. So it's like everything is surrounding the kid, and then they are able to. And I have used this in teachers. They're using this in French. So they're doing it exactly the same in French, in any single language, because it's like the way to start, like producing without just observe and taking, a lot of time of trying to read the word. And so this is really cool. I really thank you for all your.
In fact, it makes me think about the beginning of your webinar when you were talking about the difference between acquisition at home and language learning in school. Language learning at home, the acquisition part is that it's holistic, it's immersive. So what you're doing is you're effectively bringing that philosophy into the classroom. You're making it a holistic experience, right, for the student, which is great. You're basically drawing on that psychology for them, which is also really good. And because I was also thinking, you were saying about at home there are many teachers and 1 student. But bringing that philosophy into the classroom also works, right? Making all of your students little mini teachers, giving them choice and voice and getting them to choose things and make things and share those things, makes them into little mini teachers, I guess, right?
Exactly, exactly. And this is exactly what I mean. If you want to learn in a deeper way and in a long, for a long term, so you have to explain things. And when you explain things to another person, and you say what you have learned, it's more learning. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Myriam. I know everybody loved it. They're all probably eagerly downloading those links that you posted. If you missed those links or if you're struggling with them, don't worry, we'll share them with you in the follow-up email as well. We'll also share the recording in that email. But if you want to go and rewatch it straight away, you can see it on the MENA Macmillan Education MENA Facebook page, because we've been live streaming there. Yeah, there you go. Mahmoud's already said that. And I will also put it onto the YouTube page tomorrow, so it'll be there as well. So lots of places you can find the recording, but we'll share it with you as well. Myriam, thank you so much again for this evening. We'll look forward to seeing you, hopefully in a face-to-face. We're going to keep our fingers crossed for
Yeah,
hopefully
that would
in
be
a
really great.
face event. So people might be able to look forward to that depending on where they are. But in the interest of time, because I know we've drifted behind time a little bit, and I want to bring Mohammed in because I can see him there eagerly waiting with Doodle Town.
I'm sorry, Mohammed.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thank you for this amazing presentation, and I'm sure that teachers have got a lot of takeaways, a lot of practical ideas. So I really enjoyed it as well.
Thank you very much.
Myriam, we'll let you go for now, and well, you can stick around for the next 20 minutes.
Of course, I'm glad. I want to stay here, but I will be without my camera on. So
yeah, perfect. I'm also going to turn my camera off and I'll go on to mute. Mohammed is going to talk to us about some activities from Doodle Town, our pre-primary course. So some of these things already exist, I think, perhaps in coursebook form. So Mohammed, all the best to you, and I'll see you in 15 to 20 minutes, let's say.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Thanks, everybody, also for being here. As Nathan said, we have some practical ideas that you can also apply into your classroom. Some of the tips that Myriam has just said that we can use with our very young learners. So now if you're using Doodle Town, you might see that there are some ideas that, or some activities that ask teachers to do some speaking with students. Ideally, every unit has got lesson 2, which is Let's Talk. And of course, from the topic, Let's Talk means that all of us are going to talk, not just speaking for an individual student, but for students to speak or to talk about a picture, they need enough language and maybe vocabulary in order to talk about it. If you look at these two kids, one of them is happy, the other is sad. If you have already taught this lesson, you will know that Rosa is sad because her bus is broken down. And if you look at the teacher's guide, you will see that the lesson objectives are practicing new language, talk about the picture, develop communication skills, and learn to share. So it's good also to learn English, but equally important, it's good to learn other things in English, such as values, the value of sharing, since all of our students come from home, which is their kingdom, and they own everything there, and they come to the classroom and they need to share a lot of things. So now, in order for students to be able to speak, we have to provide them with the vocabulary inputs. And as Myriam noted in her session, that vocabulary and repetition as well is the key ingredient of students' learning. So vocabulary is taught through listening, which is the input or the receptive skill. And afterwards, students are going to use the stickers to say the words. So they stick the stickers to their relevant pictures and they're going to say them. They're going to say a doll, a bear, a boat, and a car. And afterwards, they're going to repeat it. They're going to listen to a song. And songs, nursery rhymes, are types of developing students' memory and adding joy to their learning, which is quite important as well. And then, crucially important, that students can see a model of the conversation. Sometimes we teachers forget that speaking needs to be started by listening to a model conversation that students use some chunks. It's not enough to provide them with vocabulary, although vocabulary can be communicative enough to convey the meaning, but also our target as teachers is to help students use the chunks. So they're going to use, this is my, and the other student is going to respond with, that's cool. And they're going to say, this is my boat. So using the visual memory as well. So there is not a lot of a language here that they don't see the form of the language, but actually they see the meaning. And if you want your students to be more engaged in that, of course, you can use the characters. Again, if you do use Doodle Town, you can see that it's got the characters as cutouts. You have them at the back of the teacher's guide. You have Meg and you have Gus, the two siblings. And also you can have your students talk to the puppet. So you can have the puppet, the bunny, the Doodle Bunny, talk to students and say, this is my. Again, if you want to extend that and you have more engagement, you can have students maybe bringing their own toys as this, and then they can talk about them and they can describe them. So if you want more activities, so you can have more realia again to be involved in the classroom. So you can have a box or maybe two boxes, one with a card that is written in red and the other with blue. And you can have a mixture of toys that are in red and blue. So our target here is to have students say, this is my, or this is a ball, and they can say it's red. And then they have to sort them. So it's a collaborative activity. Students can speak to each other, and also they can use all the toys while they're saying them and sorting them into the boxes. So now you move to a coloring activity. Maybe we have students who would like to color. So Nathan yesterday was talking about differentiation. So you have different preferences as well. Students might prefer to use their toys. Others might prefer to, maybe if you're using only the Doodle Bunny, or maybe you can involve other toys as well, other puppets. So you can have them speak to each other and you can add fun. Maybe you can have wrong sentences. So maybe the puppet can say, this is, for example, my ball, it's blue. And students might laugh at this and can say, is it correct? So they have to say no, and then they have to correct the puppet. So after coloring, also maybe you can have students sort out the pictures after they color them, and you have in the Teacher Resource Center some print and play materials that you can print out and you can hand out to students, and they can use the colors according to what they prefer. So this is also another speaking activity that you can apply, and all of these ideas don't need a lot of preparation, very simple ideas, and you can apply them right away. Yes, the use of realia to motivate them to speak. And another similar activities, again, lesson 2 is Let's Talk. So students have the enough input of vocabulary, songs, model conversation. So all these activities provide a structure for speaking. So students have the enough receptive and comprehensible input, which is meaningful and compelling. So they will be talking about their home here. And of course, the vocabulary is bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room. And of course, they're going to model the conversation, and they're going to model it with the puppets, maybe with other students. You as a teacher, if you think that students are shy to speak to you, maybe you can have them talk to the puppet, talk to each other, and you monitor if they're using the target language. And of course, afterwards, you can hide some toys in one of the boxes. So you can have some boxes and you can name them. One is living room, one is kitchen, one is bathroom, and the other is the bedroom. And of course, you can hide the toys in them, and then you can ask students, okay, where is maybe Spider-Man, or maybe where is the panda, where is the bunny? And they can say, I think it's in the and they can use the target language. It's in the bathroom, it's in the kitchen, and maybe it's in the living room, etc. After they do this, of course, in levels 2 and 3, you have further speaking, which is let's practice. And again, it starts with providing students with the target language, with the key language, actually. Here we have play, swim, read. And of course, students listen, repeat. They also use the language and practice its pronunciation. Afterwards, they listen to a conversation. What do you like to do? And then they're going to say, I like to play. I like to swim, I like to read. Another activity, if you want your students to extend the language, or maybe to have a more developed language, you can say, I like to play with my grandpa. I like to swim with my brother. I like to read with my mother. And then again, you have Gus, who has drawn his favorite activity, and he likes to read with his mother. And maybe you can provide students with some blank sheets, and you can ask them to draw what they like to do. If they're not able to draw, maybe you can give them some stickers and they can choose the one that they would like to do. Maybe you can provide them with stickers to play, swim, read, and they can say, I like to read. As Myriam said, you can just use the thumb up, and then they have to say, I like to read with my mother, or maybe I like to read with my grandpa. So these are some activities, and this is what we call project talk. And of course, personalized activities by the end that also add more engagement to this, to the lesson, and students will be more motivated to speak and of course to do the activity if they are personalized. Again, let's not forget that all our pre-primary education should be game-like, full of fun, and of course, the environment should be positive and motivating in order to help students to speak and produce the language. To extend this activity again, maybe you can have some boxes, and of course in this activity, as you can see, this is a CLIL lesson, and of course CLIL, which is content and language integrated learning. Sometimes it's social, sometimes it's art, sometimes it's science, etc. And here it's maths. So students are going to talk about where they live, and they need to discriminate between house and an apartment. And maybe after they grasp the concept of house and apartment, so you can have them build maybe a house if they live in a house, or maybe build a building and say, this is my apartment, it's on this floor and it's got this number of rooms. Again, you can give them their toys and they can hide them, and they can ask and answer each other about where is maybe Gus, or where is the puppet, or maybe the bunny. So they can also respond to that in a more meaningful way. And of course, they can say it's in there. All right. Let's not forget that there is great focus on accuracy as well. So since speaking entails accuracy and fluency, for very young learners, we focus on fluency more, but also for students in order to articulate the words very precisely. And also, instead of saying they say three, or maybe some students used to say, saying maybe thank you instead of thank you. So we want our students to be accurate while they're pronouncing words. So we provide some phonics fun. And look at the phonics here. It's not a formal phonics program, but actually it's a fun program that students listen, they repeat, they recognize the initial sounds, and they apply it immediately. And other levels, they segment and blend. So they practice the accuracy at a very early stage. And of course, for grammar, again, it's grammar fun. And for accuracy, students here are supposed to ask and answer questions. Is it sweet? And they have to say, yes, it is. No, it isn't. For this activity, you have a lot of ideas that can be fun. Maybe you can have a blindfold that students you can give them while they're blindfolded some cookies, and they taste them. They say, oh, and you can ask, is it sweet? They can say, yes, it is. No, it isn't. And then you can have them taste the lime. Again, bring realia as much as possible. add authenticity to the context, so students will have a lot of learning, and of course this will be instilled into their brains. Scaffold the activities as much as possible. As you can see, this activity has got a specific goal. It doesn't have a lot of language, because we might teach sour, maybe or maybe salty, but here is it is it sweet or not? So they have to say yes, it is, no, it isn't. And then you can give them some stickers to categorize either they're sweet or not. And of course, all the students' work can be kept in the classroom. So just in case you want to have a formative assessment, maybe to recap on the unit. And also you might know that you have this pocket chart, so you can keep all of the students' work, all of the colored activities in this pocket chart in the classroom, and of course you can use them whenever you need. So in this unit as well, students in the clear lesson are going to is going to be a science lesson. The students are going to smell and recognize the different materials. And of course, again, maybe you can use a blindfold and you have students smell and say what it is. And again, let them talk to the bunny and ask them, are they the same, yes or no? Again, you have to use some realistic, authentic situations to use the target language. Another good activity here from level 3, that students also are going to use some of their food. Maybe students from different nationalities, maybe in our context here in Saudi, we have different nationalities in the same classroom, and students don't know each other's food. So it's a good opportunity for them to bring in their food, and they can make their own sandwiches, or maybe they can act out a situation, somebody in a restaurant and the others are customers, and you can ask them to make a sandwich. First, spread hummus on the bread, then or maybe next put cheese on the hummus, and then add the lettuce. So again, make sure that students know the language, know the vocabulary, it's recycled, repeated. Again, you can have students provided with enough vocabulary and target language in order to produce it correctly. If you don't have the ability or possibility to do this as an authentic speaking activity in the classroom, maybe you can have some toys again. Maybe you can have some, maybe bread, and then you can ask students to make your sandwich. Do you want sauce? Do you want ketchup? Do you want lettuce? Do you want egg? So everything can be done in the classroom. You can use it every day. Maybe you don't have enough time for every student to do it at the same session. So maybe you can do it later on with your students. All of these activities do not have a lot of preparation. Maybe you can just keep these resources in a box in the classroom, and afterwards you can apply them whenever, or use them whenever you need to do any speaking activity. These are simple ideas. If you're interested in more, you can consult the Teacher Resource Center or the Teacher's Guide of Doodle Town. But as Myriam also said, you have to remember that you have a captive and inquisitive and curious audience. So you have to keep them engaged and do a lot of creative ideas with them. If you want to do more time or to do activities in a further time at home, maybe you can use the Navio app, which involves parents as well. Parents don't need to know English. They just need to monitor their children's learning while they're using the application. They need to listen and respond. There are a lot of activities that they might use colors to color. So listening and responding is one of the ways of producing language, or maybe to check understanding of the students. So there are letters to parents in Arabic, English, and other languages as well in the Teacher Resource Center to keep parents also aware of what their children are doing in the classroom and what they are supposed to do at home, since they spend a huge amount of time at home. This is the end of my talk, since we've taken a long time today. So I hope you liked the ideas and enjoyed them. If you have any questions, we will be happy to answer them.
I hope they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Mohammed. It's
Thank you, Nathan.
It's such a nice, colorful, engaging book, I think, for students. But
Indeed, yes.
The session you've just given there, and I think that people will be thinking and relating what Myriam was talking about in her session to what you were talking about then. And it's about really bringing that language off the page for them. So your ideas of, you know, using the feely bag, using the charts on the wall, making the houses or the apartments and then playing games around them, is bringing all of those ideas together, getting them off their chairs, getting them engaging with the language. But the book, the course book, and the unit is there to guide you, to structure the language that you want them to use, the phonics, for example, with the sounds moving step by step. And I guess taking some of Myriam's ideas and then moving that in. As I said before, a lot of it was around pre-reading. So now you're moving them into exposing them to the actual words. But you don't want them to read the words, you just want them to associate. The words are, again, like symbols, right? So they're seeing, okay, well, what I was doing, the it's, is actually something that's written down as well. So I'm associating this with the action, with the word, with the sound. And okay, right, then I'm starting to learn, okay, what is it's made of? What are the building blocks of that word? And what's the building blocks of that in a sentence? And all these things, I think, then start coming together and making sense for the students, rather than just, you know, as Myriam was saying at the beginning, you're just teaching them like, this is an apple, this is a ball, this is an orange, this is a banana, and just getting them to repeat that back to you. Bloom's taxonomy, it's just remembering, what's this? They just say one word. And you see lots of English classes like that. They don't use those full sentences, right? They just blurt out, banana. You hold it up, banana, and because they've just remembered the word. All of these things that you're talking about are moving them up that taxonomy, I think, getting them to think about and analyze and engage with that language. Amazing. So I think it was such a wonderful webinar. Thank you to both of our speakers. We have run over a little. I didn't see any questions, just lots and lots of really, really lovely comments for both of our speakers. So I will say my thank yous and my goodbyes. Thank you to everybody for being with us. Hopefully you will join us for one of the last 2 sessions that's going on tomorrow and the day after. I did have some extra slides, but I don't need to show them. They're just the certificate and the goodie bag. But we've already said that we will share all of those things with you. So from me, a huge thank you to both of our presenters this evening, and I will let them both
Thank you, Nathan.
say their thanks and goodbye.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Nathan.
much.
Thank you, Myriam.
Thank you, Mohammed. Great.